Hi guys, welcome to another episode of I Talk with Nana. I still remain your host Nana. So today we would be talking about something that is not widely talked about, something that a lot of us deal with privately, something that a lot of us don't like to talk about, maybe just because we don't like appearing weak before others. But it's something that is quite personal to me. I woke up this morning feeling a bit different and I decided to share my experiences. So I don't really know what to title this episode, but maybe I would call it sometimes I wonder if I'm doing life right. Let's talk about the topic. Sometimes I wonder if I'm doing life right. Now, have you ever had one of those days where you just pause and ask yourself, is this it? Am I getting it right? If you have, yes, come. This episode is for you. Let's start with graduation. Let's start talking about graduation. Graduation is a moment where you realize that, oh, you're no more that undergraduate, but then you're like, you sleep. You wake up as a graduate, but also you wake up as an unemployed Nigerian. You know what I'm talking about, an unemployed adult. Yeah. I'm going to now leave the moment of where, like, my parents are obligated to send me money. My parents are obligated to make sure I'm comfortable in school, to the moment where, like, my obligation is now to take care of crazy. So when you now go to social media and you see people that are hitting it big at the same age that you are in, or you see people that get things easier than you get these things, you don't necessarily have to struggle for them. It's almost like you start to feel discouraged. You start to feel like, oh, you're not doing enough. What exactly am I not doing? Why am I not hitting that gold mine? Like, why am I not getting to that point? But then I want you to understand that life isn't particularly linear. Everybody's space is different. Everybody will get their stuff different. You see, everything about life doesn't necessarily have a manual. Everything about life doesn't have a manual. So sometimes when my mother would make a statement or she'll say something like, oh, this is the way to do things, this is the way to do things. And I'm like, well, that works for you. It may not work for A, B, C, D, Z. Because it works for you doesn't necessarily means that the other person's method is wrong or is another. I'm going to talk about internal signs that you're actually on the right path, and this is something that I've experienced over the past couple of years, striking conversations with people, being able to experience these things. Now, one internal sign that you're on the right path is when you're feeling peace over perfection. A lot of people want to feel perfect. A lot of people want their life to appear perfect. They want to feel perfection over peace. Feeling peace over perfection is one of the internal signs to know that you're on the right path. There is this conviction over the decisions and over the life that you are currently living. Another sign is growth in self-awareness and emotional maturity. That's what a lot of people do not understand. That the moment you become self-aware, that's the moment you start to win the victories over your own life and you start to take control over your life. A lot of adults are not self-aware. They just live their life based off on the things that people tell them or people say. But when you become self-aware, like you actually grow in you know what self-awareness is? Self-awareness is when you are, I don't want to use the word aware, but when you're knowledgeable about yourself. A lot of people are not knowledgeable about themselves. When you ask them to describe themselves, they describe the things that other people have told them, which is fine, which works perfectly. But what is the thing that you're convinced about yourself? What is that you know that defines you? So when there's growth in self-awareness and emotional maturity, that's when you know that, okay, this is an internal sign that I'm on the right path. You have to be mature emotionally. You have to be able to take control of your. Another internal sign that you're actually on the right path is making decisions more aligned with personal values, not just survival or approval. Oh my God. I love our generation. When people say Gen Z, they don't take rubbish. A Gen Z would apply for a job, and when they get there and they see that the terms and conditions are not meeting with what they were told, they will resign. I mean, they'd rather go hungry. And they'd rather leave. They say it's affecting their mental health. Their peace of mind, that their mental state is more important than that salary or that, money stipend you want to give them. So it's really what it is. When you're able to make decisions that are more aligned with your personal values, you're able to make financial decisions, you're able to make emotional, relationship decisions that are more aligned with what you believe, with your personal values than what society says, or when it's not a thing of survival or you're looking for approval. Just because, oh, my parents said this is the particular age I'm supposed to get married, this is the particular age I'm supposed to do stuff, this is the particular age I'm supposed to do this. But you're taking decisions from a place of personal value. Yeah, and that's definitely an internal sign that you are actually on the right path, where you're able to stand up for your own decisions and own them. Now, uncertainty is actually a sign of growth. Yeah. I know that doesn't sound, I may be contradicting myself, but uncertainty can actually be a sign of growth. But how uncertainty can actually be a sign of growth? In that you know that you want to grow. How you are going to grow, when you are going to grow, the process of growing, you do not know. But what do? You wake up every day and you take each day as it comes. You wake up every day and you promise yourself that you're going to take the day by storm. You wake up every day and you're putting in every effort into growing. A duplex is not built in a day. A bungalow itself is not built. Foundation is not laid in one day. It is one block at a time, one block at a time, one block at a time until they get their desired product. Now, the uncertainty is when you are building, when you're laying foundation or you're building generally, and you do not necessarily know what the weather forecast will be. Yeah, you may enter rainy season, you may enter, summer, winter, whatever it is, harmattan, all of that, and you are low-key somehow able to predict what the day might bring. The weather can still shock you. The weather can actually shock you. In rainy season, sun can be shining so bright, and in dry season, rain can be falling heavily. And what's going on? Climate change. That's what's happening. So, but that is the uncertainty. But when you keep adding the block and you keep building, you are actually uncertain about the weather, but you are still building. So regardless, whatever the weather brings, you are still building. You don't know if the rain will stop falling. You don't know if the sun will stop shining, but you add a block every day. You go, you put a block, you go, you put a block, you go, you put a block, till you get your desired result. So uncertainty, yes, can actually be a sign of growth. And most people have a crisis of direction, meaning that they don't necessarily know what direction to take. They're scared to take decisions. They are scared to take steps. But the truth is that if you want to grow, you cannot afford to be scared of things. You cannot afford to be scared of taking decisions. You cannot afford to be scared of making decisions that may be out of your comfort zone. The more you stay in your comfort zone, the more you would be limited to the opportunities around you. The more you stay in your comfort zone, the more you see life and the more you see things in life from a myopic view. You are short-sighted because you are in your comfort zone. When you step out of your comfort zone, that's when you actually realize that there are opportunities that are out there that are waiting for people to grasp them. And at the same time, as you're grasping them, there is something called grace. Grace comes with these things. So don't just think that, it's just your own power or, that's how it works. So evolving is discomfort. It's not comfortable. Building, growing is definitely not comfortable. But at the end of the day, the result is so beautiful. People celebrate results. People associate themselves with good results. They don't necessarily associate themselves with building. I've had now, there's this trap of constant self-improvement. You always want to fix yourself. You always want to, see. The best, when you know you're enjoying a moment, let me just say something before I continue what I'm saying. When you know that you are in the moment is when you're not taking pictures or videos all the time. When you know you had a good time, right, is when you go out with your friends or you go out with a friend or you go out with your partner, whatever it is, and you don't see the need to document the process time of your life. Now, it's the same thing with fixing yourself. When you don't want to stay in the present, you always feel like, you're always comparing yourself to others. You're always comparing your standards to others. There's always a comparison. There's never a moment when I am glad to be in this moment. I'm glad to be this person at the present time. This is what I have. This is my personal value. I'm glad to be here. You always want to fix. You always want to drag with someone. There's this sense of comparison. Yeah, that is the trap of constant self-development. And most times it's not even out of self-development. Sometimes it could be out of envy or jealousy without you even realizing that it's out of envy or jealousy. You actually need to work on that. Now, practical things that could help us of who you are and hold on to what you're holding on to. One, journaling your definition of a meaningful life. When you say my life is meaningful, what do you mean? When you say I do have a meaningful life, what do I mean? Now, I personally can say I do have a meaningful life. What do I mean? I have made impacts in the little way that I can. I am still making impact in the little way that I can. It may not necessarily be financial impact. It could be emotional impact. It could be spiritual impact. It could be just being there, just being available, being a friend, being a shoulder to cry on, impacting knowledge. I do have a meaningful life, definitely. I have not passed through this life up to this age, just to not have a meaningful life. Why? Because I've been able to journal and understand what my definition of having a meaningful life. I'm not living in people's present. I'm living in my present. I'm not living in people's reality. I'm living in my reality and that of God. So when you journal what your definition of having a meaningful life is, you do not really care, or you're not really bothered by what other people's definition of that makes sense. Now, redefining success based on values and not outcome. I think I talked about it in one of my podcasts with my girls, and where we talked about, what is the real definition of success and all of that. Now, when you define success based on your values and based on your standards and not necessarily your outcomes, I think you are onto something. When you say, oh, I'm successful, but you don't have so much money, most times in our society, when people say, oh, he's a successful person or she's a successful person, they are looking at what is your financial capability, what's your pocket. But at the same time, somebody can be successful without necessarily having all the financial requirements for being rich or wealthy. Now, building grace into your goals. It's okay. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to, take a break. It's okay to attach grace to your goals. Don't always be rigid on it, like, oh my God, I had 6 goals between January to June. I am not able to achieve these 6 goals. I'm dumping everything. Attach grace to your goals. You're only but one person with one head. When we are younger and you get second and your parents expected to get first, and they say, does your classmate have 2 heads? Maybe they do, but me, I have 1 head, as you can see. You understand? So attach grace, build grace into your goals. And learning or leaning into community, mentorship, or faith when feeling lost, very important. A lot of people think that they can do life alone. And I'm not even talking about emotional, a partner, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, husband. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking of a girl having a sister or sisterhood that she can rely on. A man having a brother or brotherhood, a community that you can rely on. There's something people say that in training, a child is not trained by the parents alone. A child is trained by the community. A child is trained by the people around them. That's one thing I love about the Africans. Something I love about Nigeria. Someone will see your child going astray, and instead of just allowing the child go, it's our child now. Oh my, you understand? They want to bring the child closer and want to all of that. Yeah, that is the same thing. As you get older, you realize that you cannot afford to do life alone. This life is it's not so straightforward, and it's not so fantastic that you want to afford to do it alone. You cannot afford to do life alone. You need someone to lean on. You need a community. You need mentorship. You need fantastically. Now, faith, surrendering, and trusting the bigger picture. For the Christian listeners, I just want to remind you of some scriptures that would really help you. Like Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the thought I have for you, thoughts of good and not of evil, to bring you to a prosperous and to an expected end. So this is me saying yes, placing it on the table now. God is intentional about every one of us. God has created us. Jeremiah chapter 1, I don't know what verse, that verse 1 or verse 2 say, before you were formed, I knew you. While you were in your mother's womb, I had ordained you, I had called you to be a prophet. These words were spoken in the time of old doesn't make them invalid now. They are still very much valid. I mean, we see a lot of things that were spoken many years ago, but they still relate to us now. So the world is rotating, things are repeating, life is in circle, times are evolving. I say no. And then immediately my phone rang. It was a big auntie of ours then in nature, Sister Chisom. God bless you wherever you are. And she called me. She was like, how are you? I was trying not to cry. I was trying not to, show that I was actually in tears. So I just, I said, I'm fine. She's like, no, you're not fine. Calm down. That actually she called me because she had a dream that I was kneeling down and Bible was open in front of me and tears were dropping onto my Bible. That was literally the position I was in when she called me. See, sometimes when we talk about these things, it seems like, you're too spiritual, you're too spiritual. If I'm not, I don't know what else you want me to be. I will be a spirit when I leave this body. So she called me and so she just wanted to encourage me. That she doesn't know what the issue is, but this was what she saw in her dream just last night. And that was why she called me today to check up on me, that how is the program doing. I just burst out in tears. I was just telling her that that's exactly what I'm doing now, that I don't know what to do. She encouraged me and she helped me to go. So when I saw the admission, when I saw accept or reject, I wasn't even the one that accepted it. Because timing is the best. That was when God needed me to be in that school at the time. That was when God needed me to be in that campus at the time. And even the times when I felt weakened, and the times when I derailed, when I fell out of place, when I lost focus, God still held my hand. God still held my hand and did not leave me. He still directed me back to his camp, back to his temple, back to him. He still requires my life to the course that I am meant to be on. So I just want to encourage you. I want to wrap up by saying that it's not necessarily about the direction of other people's life or about where your parents want the direction of your life to go. Your parents are there to guide you, yeah, but they are not there to dictate what you do with your life. They are not there to dictate what exactly happens in your life. They can do the most they can. It is left in your hands and that of God. So when you put in the work, you pray, you trust, you have faith, you associate with the right community, and you meet the right people, trust me, your life is going to take. It is going to be a takeoff. So do not be discouraged, not be dismayed. Do not think, oh, sometimes I'm not doing life right. You are doing it right as far as you're on the right course and you're doing the things that make you happy. Yes, you are doing life right. So sometimes doing life right just means staying faithful where you are, staying consistent and being who you truly are. That's literally what it means. So it's okay to wonder. It's fine to wonder. You are not lost, you are learning. Experiences are not there to kill us or to keep us down. They are there to make us to learn. They are there to make us learn. So sometimes it's okay to wonder. It is worse if you're staying in your wandering that direction. But if you wonder and you recourse, I think that's one of the perfect things that happen for you, because then you're able to learn through your experiences and those of others that have gone ahead of you and that are still going ahead of you. So now I will end this by asking you, what does a meaningful life look to me today? It's a self-reflection of your life and of your journaling. In case you want to start journaling today, ask yourself, what does a meaningful life look to me today? Every day ask yourself that, and if you have a meaningful answer, then perfect, you're good to go. And I'll end this right about now by saying, even when it doesn't look like it, you're probably doing better than you think. Even when it doesn't show it, when the signs are not there, you are probably doing better than you think. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't stop creating that content. Don't stop putting it out. People are seeing it. The minute you stop it, that is when you would understand that people have been seeing your content out here. Don't stop creating that content. Don't stop pushing that content. Don't stop making that video. Don't stop showing up at work. Don't stop writing. Don't stop singing. Don't stop playing that instrument. Don't stop dancing. Do not stop. Because people are watching, people are seeing, people are expecting, and people are waiting for the good results so that they can associate with you. Until another time, I hope this has been able to help you out to remember that yes, you are doing life right. 3 things: God, your values, and consistency. I will see you guys another time. Thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to tell your friends, to tell their uncles, brothers, sisters, mothers, wives, gatemans, neighbors, pastor, that this is Nana and I Talk. Do have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye.